All right, welcome back. It's now time for us to get to the discussion. Today being Wednesday is the viewpoint, and we want to have a special view on the presidency of one gentleman, Owalo. He resigned from the cabinet and he said that he is the best bet for this country come 2027 general election. He's here with me in studio to answer all your questions, and of course some of them that I will also be asking him. Let him tell us what his agenda is and why he thinks that he is the best man to take us to the next general election until 2032, and if possible, for the next 10 years, right?
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Just to mention, that is my former boss.
I hope there's no conflict.
No.
Because I'm not in that position. I'm no longer in that position.
No, I'm not conflicted.
No.
But good to have you.
Thank you.
You did well.
Yes.
As you can see.
Yes.
What is your projection? What can you see around?
No, I like the ambience. Yeah, I believe KBC has the potential.
Yes.
Yeah, a bit of engineering here and there, and you'll be good to go.
We thank you.
Good.
You did your part.
Thank you.
Okay, as usual, we'll take through the front page of the local dailies before we get to the discussion. Let me start with the Star. The Star says that Kalonzo Sifuna Matiang'i in high-stakes scramble to take on Ruto. The anti-Ruto drive in disarray as internal wars rock opposition. That's on the front page of the Star newspaper. Still on the front page, the multi-agency yesterday had a press conference where they said that there's a major test for IBC as Owalo Kalau heads to the ballot. That is tomorrow. The Inspector General of Police was there. IEBC official was there. We also had the NCIC officials and many stakeholders. Yesterday said that they're up to task to ensure that the Owalo Kalau by-election is taken care of as per the law. Again, the president also hosted the Harambee Starlets in State House for breakfast yesterday. They are also proceeding to the Under-17 Women's World Cup that will be taking place in Morocco. That happened. Okay, that's on the front page of the Star newspaper. What do you have on the front page of the Daily Nation, Mheshimiwa?
A recipe for chaos, that we are quoting disaster, courtesy of Gunism.
Yes.
Which is spreading in different parts of the country. Yes. Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
If you ask me.
Basically, even my colleague Regina read about it, and it's something that, so to start, let me just start from there. Does it really worry you by the trend? Because for the past few months, it's been Gunism. There is nothing positive to report about it.
Absolutely. I don't believe that we should be using violence or inflicting violence on political opponents as a means of scaring them.
Yes.
I believe that we need to have a level playing ground where each and every candidate can sell his or her agenda without fear or favor or without intimidation from any quarter whatsoever. It's unfortunate that these acts of violence seem to be spiraling in different parts of the country. And if you ask me, I feel they are being abetted from somewhere. Yeah, I don't believe that the government cannot stop the Gunism.
Yeah.
Our security apparatus is one of the most sophisticated in this part of the world. And you can't tell me that you can have goons armed with machetes and with bows and arrows, in broad daylight, and they cannot be apprehended by the police. Where is our police?
CS Murkomen said that a number of people were arrested over the weekend.
I mean, but they need to be arrested and convicted.
Yes.
Yeah? These fellows are known. I mean, it was all over the media. Yeah? And these people, their faces are known. Like the ones in Kisumu, they are known. The people behind them are also known. Why is it that government cannot stop this act of violence? It's mind-boggling, if you ask me.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I just hope that something is going to be done, and let's come back home again on the Standard. The Standard says too little, too late. That's on the front page of the Standard, too little, too late. The Standard reports that tomorrow's Owalo Kalau by-election has become a chilling dress rehearsal for the 2027 general election, with voter bribery, violence, intimidation, and gun attacks exposing glaring failures by security agencies and the Electoral Commission. As IEBC promises a credible poll, an international report warns Kenya faces an 84.1% likelihood of electoral violence next year, raising fresh questions over whether institutions can prevent the country from sliding into another democratic crisis. This headline reminds us of 2007.
It's quite unfortunate. I believe that our institutions charged with the responsibility of overseeing elections need to exercise their mandates impartially, without fear or favor or without instructions, exterior instructions from any quarter. They must ensure that we have got a level playing ground for all the political players.
Yes.
I would be very, very disappointed if we go into these coming elections with a lopsided field. IEBC need to exercise its mandate in accordance with the law and without any sort of discrimination. It should be as impartial as possible so that we have a free and fair elections and so that the will of the people can prevail. Yeah.
Very good. So now, a few days ago, 4 or so days ago, you launched your political party officially.
Yeah.
So is all systems go?
Yeah, it is all systems go. We are geared. We now have the People's Prosperity Party, PPP, which is anchored on a very strong ideological orientation of distributive social democracy.
Yes.
The implication of this is that a PPP government will strive to ensure equitability in distribution of Kenya's resources. The challenge we have been having in this country is that the resources of the country is in the hands of a few individuals. So much so that even when we have economic growth, that economic growth is not translated into economic development. It does not translate into a rise in the standards of living of the people at the grassroots. This is the paradigm that we want to shift. We want to ensure that there is equity and equitability in distribution of Kenyan resources so that those who benefit from the resources of this country primarily should be the value chains at the grassroots.
Yes.
Those who are actually the backbone of the economy. Today you find the farmers striving, you find the fishermen striving, but the benefits accrue to other people within the top echelons, the so-called merchants of business. So we really want to facilitate equitability in distribution of resources so that everybody gets rewarded to a level commensurate with their contributing component towards growth of the Kenyan economy.
That sounds like a very soft approach, because when you talk about resources and distributed equally amongst Kenyans, that sounds like
not equally. It's equitability. There's a difference between equally and equitability.
I stand corrected.
Yes.
But that sounds so soft that it touches the softest part of every Kenyan.
Yes.
Emotionally speaking.
Yes.
Most of the presidential candidates will say the same thing.
Yeah.
How will you do it differently?
Well, there's difference between theory and practice. What I say is what I do. If I've got a plan before I join the government, it's the plan that I'm going to implement when I get elected. And that is the problem I have with the legacy politicians, because they make all sorts of promises during the campaign, but when they get into government, it's a different ballgame.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I really believe that Kenyans should elect transformational leaders, leaders who really want to address the challenges facing the common mwananchi. Today, talk to any Kenyan in any part of the country. They'll tell you they are facing two twin challenges: lack of money in the pocket and difficulty in putting food on the table. I have got a plan.
Which plan is that?
One, in my well-considered opinion as an economist, I believe the lack of money in their pocket is a function of a punitive taxation regime. Yeah? The tax levels are extremely high to the extent that after taxation, the level of disposable income cannot enable Kenyans meet basic subsistence. That is an issue that we need to address. And that's why I'm saying that once elected president, having done my maths and analysis as an economist, I'll bring down the level of income tax from 35% to 20%. In equal measure...
35 to 20?
To 20.
Okay.
In equal measure, I'll bring down the level of VAT from 16% to 10%, because VAT is a major contributor towards the high cost of living index. The spiraling prices is a result of high level of VAT. If you buy sugar Yeah, there's a VAT in it.
Yes.
If you buy salt, there's a VAT in it. All these basic essential commodities, their prices are high because of VAT. We can drastically reduce the level of VAT from 16% to 10% comfortably without any negative spiral effects. The other thing I'm going to do is to bring down the level of corporate tax by 5% across the board to spur investment in the economy by businesses. And then we do away with the digital tax. I don't see why we should have this so-called digital tax, because the digital and creative economy is one space where we have got enormous potential. In fact, if you ask me, the only opportunity that we have to empower our youth. We no longer have the white-collar jobs, but we have got an abundance of opportunities within the digital space for our young boys and girls to explore their full
You talk
potential.
about digital tax,
Yeah.
and this was part of your docket.
Yes.
When you're in the ministry.
Yes.
And you oversaw this passing through the cabinet until it got effected.
Yeah.
How would you reverse it?
Well, it's through the same process.
And by the time it was passed, you are the boss.
Yes, but I gave my views. I gave my views as far as that was concerned. You know, when you are in a position in government where you are expected to be the expert advisor to authority, your work starts and stops at the point of giving advice. You are not in control of whether or not whatever advice you give will be taken. I gave my views appropriately as required.
So your view is you think
We should do away with the digital tax.
Why?
Because we can get that money elsewhere. Why should we levy digital tax in a space which is the only avenue that we have to enable our youth exploit their full potential? Every young boy and girl today on the phone can earn a living in the digital space, so long as they have the digital skills. There's an abundance of digital jobs there, which they can do. They can be here in Kenya, but working for different companies in different parts of the world, and they are being paid in foreign currencies. Yeah. Okay. And I've seen it happen. I've seen boys who have just completed fourth form, earning up to and including 200 Kenya shillings per month in the digital space, doing different jobs at the same time, working for different companies the same day. A company in the US in the morning, another one in the UK in the afternoon, another one in Canada or India in the evening, you see. So they can work, multitask and work for different companies at the same time, doing different jobs, and they are paid. The harder you work, the more you get. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this one of the reasons why you want to be president?
Definitely, this will be a key plank in my campaign. I'm very concerned about the high levels of unemployment in the country. And I believe that the space that we have for our youth is the digital and creative economy. And we need to go a step further and augment this through sports. Sports is another space where we have got abundance of opportunities for our young boys and girls. If we can nurture their talent early enough, we should be able to exploit their full potential. It is not cast on stone that our children must today pursue education up to university the way we did before getting employed or before earning a source of living. We should be liberal enough to build on the strengths, skills, competencies, and capabilities in area of this youth in areas where they are strong. If somebody is talented in football or netball or volleyball or athletics, why can't we allow them to pursue that? Sport is today big business. With an enabling policy framework, we should be able to empower our youth courtesy of sport. And what we need to do is, first of all, to ensure that we have the requisite infrastructure for sports, sports facilities. We need to start by establishing talent development centers at the grassroots. I'll take you back a little bit because I'm a soccer enthusiast.
All right.
In the 1980s, the Kenya national soccer team, Harambee Stars, used to do very well. Actually, it was a regional powerhouse. But that's a team that had played together for a while, but also it's a team that entailed players who had gone through the youth structures that had been established in the early 1970s by one German called Bernhard Goll. It just shows you what we can do if we identify, nurture, and exploit the potential in our youth at an early age. You can't build sport from the top. You have to build sport from the from the grassroots.
Yes.
And that requires an enabling policy framework to facilitate. And that is one thing that I'm very passionate about. And given the opportunity by Kenyans as president, I'll go the full hog and ensure that sport becomes a major plank of our economy.
Okay, so let's rewind back to, sometimes back.
Yeah.
So you are there, and one moment you decide that you want to be president.
Yes.
What really struck that part of your spinal cord that shook you a little bit and said, I'm going to run for it?
Empathizing with Kenyans. I mean, I've been into different parts of this country, and everywhere I went, Kenyans are telling me they're struggling. They don't have money in their pocket, and they don't have food on the table. And they have gone ahead and told me that they do believe that the problem we have in this country is not lack of resources. We have the requisite resources, but they believe that our biggest problem is corruption.
Yes.
Yeah? They no longer, in their view, trust the legacy politicians. And I've been urged on. They have told me that Kenyans have told me that, Eliud, we believe that you can be a good manager of resources. We have seen your track record. When I was CSICT, the Ministry of ICT, was voted by none other than the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, under my leadership, as the least corrupt ministry. Yeah? The Corruption Perception Index was at its lowest ebb when I was the CSICT, okay? So that is an indicator of my track record. I'm a person of integrity. When I was in the private sector, also, for a period of 23 years before I joined the government, I established myself as one of the most sought after strategists in Africa.
Yeah.
I built that reputation. So I'm a performer. The things I did when I was at Ministry of ICT, rollout of the fiber optic cable, establishment of the digital hotspot, establishment of the Wi-Fi's, digital skilling, and even embarking on the process of revitalizing the Postal Corporation of Kenya and the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, that is in the public domain. So my record speaks for itself as a performer and somebody who will actually facilitate zero tolerance to corruption based on track record. I'm a person of integrity, and Kenyans believe in.
A person of integrity.
Yeah.
So this is part of your agenda?
Oh, yes. In fact,
amongst many others.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead and explain them.
When I'm elected president, I will do everything possible within my means to ensure that there is zero tolerance for corruption in my government. In fact, for a start, I will reopen all cases of corruption within the period of the 2010 constitutional dispensation, so that Kenyans can get a closure. We need to have impartial investigations of these cases of mega corruption, so that people need to know the culprits, those who have been siphoning money out of public coffers. I mean, Kenyans deserve that. The problem we have been having is interference with institutions which are supposed to fight corruption, political interference. We need to have an EACC, a DCI, Director of Prosecutions, who are exercising their mandate impartially without any instructions from any quarter. And we need to separate the three arms of government so that they work independently of each other. Yeah? The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Yeah? Those three arms of government should work independently. I really want to facilitate, benefiting from my past experience in government, full digitalization of government services as one of the avenues of stopping corruption. When I got into the Ministry of ICT, I found only 350 government services digitalized. By the time I left, we had gone a step further and digitalized a whopping 22,000 services, which were then available on digital platform. The net effect is that Kenyans no longer needed to physically go to government offices to seek most of the government services. They could acquire these services from the comfort of wherever they are, including but not limited to the comfort of their homes. Okay?
Yes.
What was the end result? The end result was that the level of government revenue, domestically collected revenue, shot from a meager 60 million shillings per day to about 1 billion shillings per day. What did we do? We just sealed the revenue leakages, courtesy of digitalization. So I have seen it work. Digitalization is one of the avenues through which we can seal revenue leakages with a view to stopping corruption. And I'll ensure that we digitalize everything in government. We digitalize procurement. Yeah, we digitalize implementation of projects, monitoring, evaluation, and reporting framework, and accountability for utilization of public funds.
You talked about independence of all these independent bodies, but Mheshimiwa, it sounds easier said than done.
So long as there's the will, it's possible. I mean, what is so difficult in getting the judiciary, for example, to exercise its mandate without interference from the executive?
Yeah, do you think you won't have networks there?
We don't need to. We don't need to. And if anybody is interfering with the judiciary, I mean, they need to face the full force of the law because the Constitution is supreme. I would wish to see a parliament that is exercising its mandate independently of the executive. Today, this parliament has become a mere appendage to the executive. They are dancing to the whims of the executive. Yeah? It is, actually, to me, this is the most embarrassing parliament in our lifetime.
You can say that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It is. And I can say that again and again and again. Yeah? It is a toothless bulldog. It has become a mere appendage to the executive. And that is not the direction we should
Executive that you are part of.
Oh, yes, but not as president. I'll reverse that trend when I become president.
How will you reverse that?
Just let institutions do their work. Let Parliament do its work. Let Parliament provide the checks and balances to the executive with a view to making sure that the executive delivers on its mandate based on promises made to Kenyans and ensuring that there is prudence in utilization of resources. That's what they should do. But when now Parliament wants to behave as if it is part and parcel of the executive, and then they are letting down Kenyans, the electorate, who put them into those offices. Yeah.
I remember covering one of the by-elections in Kibra constituency where you are part of the participants.
Oh, yes.
And I remember covering you extensively.
Yes.
What have you learned since then, getting to a by-election, and now you want to run for the top seat of this country? And of course, you've run, you've gone through the ranks up to here where you are today.
Kibra was another Owalo.
I remember that.
Yes, it was another Owalo because, it's a by-election. By-elections, if you ask me, is quite different from the general election because by-election, the focus of the whole country is in one constituency. Just as is the case of Owalo today, we had government coming into Kibra with massive resources at that point in time with a view to tilting the scales in favor of the system preferred candidate as was the case then. Yeah? So that really is not the direction we should go. We really need to have a level playing ground for all candidates.
Yes.
But when you get to a situation where a government is coming in with all sorts of resources, to tilt the scales in favor of one candidate, then that is not an impartial electoral process. And this is coming, happening in the full glare of the IEBC. And they keep quiet about it. I mean, who does not see the type of goodies in Owalo today, government goodies in Owalo today? Yeah?
Why can't we? Those are campaign, the development materials taken to that region because they deserve the better as well.
Yeah, but why is it just aligned to the period of this by-election? Why couldn't that development be done earlier? Why should transformers be relocated from Bere to Owalo? I mean, we are actually perpetuating a wrong system for future generations.
Okay. Yeah. Why would Wanjiku in Peketoni, Wanjiku in Turkana, Wanjiku in North Hor, Wanjiku in Nyatiki Wuthugik should trust you with her vote?
Because I'm believable and I have a track record as a transformational leader. What I say is what I do. Ask anybody who has interacted with me. When I take a position, I stick to that position. And I'll not take Kenyans for a ride. Believe you me, I'll not take Kenyans a ride. What I promise to do is what I will do when I'm elected president. I've talked about taxation. The other issue which I want to bring to the fore is debt. Our level of spiraling debt. We must address it. The problem we are facing today is that we come up with a budgetary framework with the notion in the background that we will use debt to fill the revenue gap. Yeah? Debt should not be utilized as a revenue-raising measure to fill budgetary deficit. Under my government, I'll run a zero budget deficit. We will cut our cloth according to our size, just the same way we do in our homes. You plan at family level based on the resources available at your disposal. You don't plan with the notion that you are going to borrow to fill the gap. That's what we should do at macro level. The same thing we are doing at micro level is what we should do at macro level. And I will only sanction, my government will only sanction public debt in instances where that debt is going to projects which can repay the debt and for the benefit of the people. In fact, my government will go a step further and undertake a forensic audit of all previous debt, so that we are certain, the veracity or otherwise, that one, the debt was acquired in conformity to the law, and two, that the debt was utilized for purposes of public good. We need to do that audit for the good of Kenyans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's come back and ask you a question. Are you a government project? Are you Ruto's project?
You know, this is a question I've been asked and I've answered 1,001 times.
You also need to answer it here.
And I'll not hesitate to answer. To me, that is the most illogical and incorrigible argument I'm coming across, because my track record as somebody who is decisive and somebody who is forthright and somebody who takes risks is there for everybody to see. In the year 2019, when I decided to work with Ruto, I did it publicly and I announced publicly that at that point in time I was joining the Hustler movement and I was going to support William Ruto 2022. And I went the whole hog. Yeah? We shepherded him until he got into government.
Yes.
I do not see the rationale, if I wanted to work with William Ruto towards 2027, of quitting government, the top echelons of government at a cabinet level position, to go and work with him from outside.
In government, there are backdoor silent dealings, Mr.
Yes, yes.
So probably you are part and parcel of that.
I'm not part of those ping pong games. I play my cards on the table. I'm not part of those ping pong games. And that has never been my style.
That is contrary to what is in the public domain, that you are there to destabilize the Luo Nyanza voting bloc.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
How do I destabilize the Luo Nyanza voting bloc? In the current prevailing political arrangement, if we held all factors constant, it is presumed that Luo Nyanza voting bloc is within the ambit of the Orange Democratic Movement Party, isn't it? Which today is in bed with Ruto, isn't it? If I put my candidature forward, does that help Ruto or it works against Ruto? Because Ruto will want those Luo votes as a bloc, courtesy of ODM. That is if ODM is still in control of that Luo Nyanza vote. That's a question we need to address another day.
You're part of the network, allegations that you're part of the network to mobilize that voting bloc.
And then the voting bloc votes for me or votes for Ruto?
Let's take a break.
I mean, we need to be precise. Does that voting bloc vote for me or vote for Ruto? If it votes for me, then the answer is in the negative. It does not work in favor of Ruto.
We answer more. I still have more to ask you about that question.
Yes.
Stay with us.
Yes.
We're taking a break with my former boss. And welcome back. And here with Mheshimiwa Owalo, who EGH, important to note, that he wants to be the president of this republic come 10th of August 2027. Many questions coming in, and I will be sampling some of them later on. But Mheshimiwa, I ask a question about you being the government project, why you quit the government, and there was a specific direction and order that you're supposed to handle, with a specific focus on the Luo Nyanza voting bloc.
First of all, I'm not a Luo candidate. I'm a Kenyan presidential candidate. And if you look at my track record and even my pronouncement since I declared my presidential candidature, I've avoided tribal posturing because I don't believe that's the politics that we need to be practicing. We need to have a paradigm shift. So my stronghold is economic, and that's why I'm riding on an economic agenda. I'm not preoccupied with getting votes from where I was born. I want to get votes from majority of Kenyans across the board. And my stronghold is economic as opposed to tribal. I want to get votes from the youth who believe that I've got an agenda that will create an enabling environment for them to exploit their full potential. I want to get to vote from women who believe that my agenda can facilitate an opportunity for them to undertake itinerary trade, because they have got that potential, but they don't have the requisite resources. I want to be the candidate of choice for civil servants, those in government today, who at the end of the month have no money because of punitive taxation. I want to be their candidate. I want to be the candidate of the farmers. I want to be the candidate of the fisher folk. So I want to work with value chains. My stronghold is the value chains. It's not tribal. And I'm not going to be part and parcel of tribal conglomerations, because I've seen it in this country since independence, and it's not helped Kenyans. Yeah. People putting together tribes, leaders putting together their ethnic communities, cobbling ethnic arrangements for purposes of attaining political power. And once they get into government, they forget about the people. I'm not going to be part and parcel of that. I want to ride on a transformational agenda, which is truly people-centric and with the ultimate objective of addressing the challenges facing the common man.
You've really talked about your agenda for this country. One of them is to tackle corruption. One of them is to tackle the debt, that is the debt. You've talked about sports economy, which is quite massive. What else?
The other one is education.
Education.
I want us to re-engineer our education sector. If we collect adequate revenue, and in fact, before I get to education, I just want to expound on something. Many a time I've been asked where we are going to get revenue from to finance government expenditure if we are drastically reducing the level of taxation. And it is basic economics. Today, the level of tax is extremely high because only about 9 million Kenyans are paying tax out of a possible 36 million Kenyans, which means there's a whopping 27 million Kenyans who are not paying tax today because they can't pay what they don't have. They don't have a source of livelihood. So that is the starting point. We should interrogate. Why is it that we have got 27 million Kenyans who don't have a source of livelihood? This is where our mothers and sisters are. This is where our youth in the Juakali sector are. Why don't we push resources to those sectors so that these fellows can operate at optimal capacity utilization level from an economic perspective, so that they get some optimal level of income, and by extension they get into the tax bracket? And that is the answer to that question. Don't increase tax. The focus should not be on increasing the level of taxation to raise more revenue. The focus should be on widening the tax base. Bringing more people into the income bracket.
Creating more jobs.
Creating more jobs. Creating an enabling environment for businesses. Then you will be able to collect more tax than we are currently collecting without increasing the level of taxation. In fact, to be specific, drastically reducing the level of taxation, as I've already alluded to earlier. I believe if we are utilizing, going a step further to utilize that tax well by sealing the revenue leakages and reducing wastage in government and doing away with the corruption, we should be able to have adequate resources to facilitate free primary education. So that will be a key plank of my plan. I want my government will facilitate free primary education and free day secondary education. The Kibaki government had free primary education. Where were they getting resources from? It just shows you that there's something amiss. There's something that we are not doing right. In equal measure, my government will facilitate free public health services in all public hospitals, based on this background I've given you in terms of how we need to put together a framework that facilitates prudence in utilization of resources.
I have a couple of questions coming from our viewers out there, but let me ask you this question. What is your definite or your clear path to victory without going to form political coalitions? Because as we speak, many people are going to have coffee in the evening. Brothers are going to have coffee. People are going to have meetings. But I've not heard you talk about having a coalition and all that.
You see, I'm benefiting from practical existential experience in presidential campaigns.
And you think you can go all alone?
In 2013, I headed the Raila presidential campaign. In 2022, I was a key plank in the Ruto presidential campaign. Believe you me, real political coalitions for purposes of elections are formed 6 months to the elections.
So you will form a coalition?
That is a discussion we'll need to have next year. And I'm not saying I will not form a coalition. What I'm praying for is that when the time, when we get there, I would be willing to form a coalition with people of like minds, transformational leaders, people who want to facilitate real change for the benefit of the Kenyan people. What I'm reluctant to do is to get into a coalition with the legacy politicians. And I've worked with these people, I know them in and out. There is no major politician today who is running for president whom I've not interacted with at a personal level or worked with. Yeah? When I was heading the Raila campaign in 2013,
yes,
Raila was the candidate. Kalonzo was a co-principal. Wetangula was a co-principal. When I contested in Kibra, I ran on ANC ticket. I worked closely with Musalia up to the point when I transitioned to work with the Ruto axis. And I've worked with Ruto from 2019 up to January 2026. So I know these fellows in and out,
but still,
at a personal level.
But
let me finish.
This is coalitions.
No. Let me finish. If these are the people Kenyans are banking on to facilitate real change in this country, then we are in for a rude shock. These fellows cannot facilitate any change. They have been part and parcel of government.
You know them?
I know them at a personal level. Ruto has been in government for 30 years. Different governments. Kalonzo and his team, they have been in government for between 30 to 50 years.
And you've been part of that system
No.
years.
I've not been part of government. I've worked with these people from a strategic perspective. I've worked with them as a strategist. I was only in government for 1.5 years or 2 years. Yeah, this Ruto government. I've never been in government before.
Okay.
But I've been an advisor, a strategist to key of these politicians. So what I'm saying is this. I'm not going to be in a hurry to form coalitions with the legacy politicians. Yet I know very well that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. I don't see why we should get into coalitions just for purposes of getting into government. Then when we get into government, we forget about the people.
Yeah.
You change the forests, but you retain the same monkeys. I mean, that's a zero-sum game. We will be taking Kenyans for a ride. I believe they are good politicians whom I can work with, transformational leaders, people who can be agents of real change for the benefit of the Kenyan people. And I'm saying in the fullness of time, at an appropriate time, I'll get into such a coalition.
Very good.
Yeah.
There are a couple of questions coming from our viewers. One, Nicholas is asking, our president-to-be wants to lower taxes considerably.
Yeah.
Ask him where he will get the money to run the country.
I've answered that. We widen the tax base and then stop corruption and seal revenue leakages and then cut wastage in government. Today, if you go to Naivasha, these hotels are on the road to the flower farms. Those parking lots are full of government vehicles. People are in seminars. They are supposed to be working, but they are in what? Seminars. What are they discussing in those hotels in this era of technology, which they cannot do virtually? It is wastage. The amount of money we spend on travel, both domestic and foreign, the amount of money we spend on allowances for public servants is astronomical.
Yeah.
We need to do away with that. Then we cut down corruption. We will be able to and widen the tax base. We will be able to have adequate resources to do what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Another gentleman called Obiro Nyawanga. Obiro Nyawanga is asking, basically this is a statement, corruption in employment, especially army, police, should be looked into.
Oh yes, absolutely. It should not be based on technical know-how, but technical know-how. And this should apply across the board in all recruitment processes. Yeah? Let us employ people in government based on their skills, competencies, capabilities, as opposed to whom they know. Today, there's a lot of political interference in recruitment processes. I've been in government and I know this happens. Yeah. It's unfortunate. What would happen to our children, the boys and girls who don't know anybody at all in government? How are they? And yet they have gone to school. I mean, we are killing the future of our children. Okay. Yeah.
Obiro has got 3 concerns. I think you should hire Obiro as your advisor because he has got 3 pieces of advice here for you.
Yes.
He says that unemployment among trained youths be addressed.
Absolutely. And I've talked about addressing it through the digital and the creative economy.
Okay. Yeah. Last one. The government should regulate college intakes to meet yearly demand in the country.
That cannot be gainsaid. He is right.
How would you do that? Because when it comes to intakes, there's a lot of problem, coups failing, you know, the 100% transition also here and there.
We must have, first of all, a system that works. If it is an IC system, it should be foolproof. We can't have a system that is on and off. That is the starting point. And everybody should have equal access to those opportunities. But even having said that, one of the things I really want to address in the educational system is matching the training that we are offering our youth to the demands of the market.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no point of training youth, yeah, who are not going to get demand in the job market. We should be able, in fact, I would really strengthen issues to do with the technical and vocational training, because that will enable our youth not just get white-collar jobs, but they can actually become entrepreneurs as opposed to job seekers at the tail end. Let us align the training opportunities and the training curriculum with the demands of the market. Let us start with demand, and then we work backwards towards the supply. Yeah.
Another question here, this is a little bit lengthy, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
What does Eliud Owalo really want? Could it be sibling rivalry and extreme projection of bitterness? Because he worked with President Uhuru Kenyatta only to be...
No, I never worked with Uhuru Kenyatta. I've never worked with Uhuru Kenyatta. I was never part of Uhuru Kenyatta's government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I need to restructure that, because you say that he has done the same with Ruto now.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one question that makes people doubt Owalo's intentions.
So my intention is to serve Kenyans. You know, I differ with these fellows because we have a plan, and then midstream they change their mindset and forget about the people. And that's why I've said this time around, this coming election, I'm not going to work for any single politician. I'll work for the Kenyan people, and that's why I want to be president. I'm a very principled person. And if we agree on something, and then you change your mind midstream, in total disregard to what the aspirations of the Kenyan people are, I'll tell you, no, I'm not boarding. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Toretich says that E.G.H. Owalo is my preferred presidential aspirant in 2032, not 2027.
Why should I wait for 2032? What if there is no country to rule in 2032?
There will be a country.
Why should I wait for 2032, yet there may be no country by 2032 if we don't fix things by 2027? Kenya can easily go down the drain.
But there is a statement with Toretich. What he says, 2032?
Yeah, but why? Why should I wait for 2032? Yet we have a problem right now which
he has a hope in you, but not 2027.
No, why? I mean, that is escapist. You need to put facts on the table. We must fix the country now. We cannot wait for another 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I've stepped forward. I've come forward as an agent of necessity to fix the challenges facing the country right now. I cannot wait for 2032. There may be no country to govern in 2032.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's another lady called Mary. Mary asks, Mheshimiwa, you are part of the cabinet. What is your take on SHA? Mwananchi anaumia.
SHA has got challenges. SHA has got challenges, and it needs re-engineering. It needs to be relooked at fresh. What I've done so far is not to wait to get into government again to confront this issue. I've already constituted a team of health sector experts, to look into the health sector issues in totality, SHA inclusive, and come up with a report together with attendant recommendations as to what we need to do to sort out the challenges in the health sector and facilitate free public health services in all public hospitals. So that's work in progress.
Now, let's come back a little bit.
Yeah.
So 2027, August 10th, elections done, and God willing, you are the clear winner.
Yeah.
First 90 days in office?
Free primary education and free day secondary education. Free public health services in all public
We will hold you to account, Mr.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
We will hold you to account.
Oh, yes. Instantly. I'll do that.
Free primary education?
Free primary education. And that will be a performance indicator for me within 90 days. Free public health services in all public hospitals. It's a question of just re-engineering government.
What else? Okay. Because when you talk about health and education, that touches the backbone of...
Oh, yes. And then taxes will go down, as I've already espoused. I bring down income tax from 35% to 20%. I bring down VAT from 16 to 10%. I do away with the digital tax, and I cut corporate tax by 5% across the board. And to me, I would really wish to have as a performance indicator for my government a rise in the standards of living of the people. The problem we are facing today is that there are a lot of projects yeah, here and there, which are being bandied around. But this has not translated to a rise in the standards of living of the people. People don't have the disposable income.
Yes.
The purchasing power of the people has gone down. I would wish that my greatest performance indicator, first and foremost, is a rise in the purchasing power of the consumer.
Yeah.
A rise in the level of disposable income. Yeah? Pesa mfukoni, chakula mezani, yeah? Elimu bora, na afya njema. Those should be my performance indicators.
That sounds okay.
Pesa mfukoni, chakula mezani, elimu bora, na afya njema. Those are my 4 key performance indicators.
Very good.
In government.
A gentleman from Good Morning Kenya, Rubani Rob from Lesos, Nandi County, he says, I love Mheshimiwa Eliud Owalo and will consider him in 2032 because he is a bit late at the moment. That is Rubani Rob from Lesos.
You know, I think these are fellows who are still living in the past. They believe because I supported Ruto.
You have 2 gentlemen also projecting you 2032.
Yeah, they believe because I supported Ruto in 2022, yeah, that I need to support him again in 2027. That is wishful thinking. It's not going to happen. It's his payback time. If he realizes he can't win,
so you think
the onus is on him.
So the president should support you?
Yeah, yes. Why not? I mean, all factors being held constant, yeah, we have a problem. Yeah, go to any part of the country and people saying they don't have money and they don't have food, and I'm telling you that I'm stepping forward as an agent of necessity to sort out these 2 twin challenges. The current government has failed to address those 2 issues. Talk to anybody. Or you have money in the pocket yourself, do you?
You will put money when you get to do it.
So,
yes.
The fact that I supported Ruto in 2022 does not mean I need to support him in 2027.
Okay.
The political environment is dynamic. It is not static. The political tectonic plates keep on shifting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question is that, Mheshimiwa, stop saying free, Mheshimiwa. Be realistic. You have the agenda, but cutting taxes, you just end borrowing. Okay, I think I got it right.
I've answered that.
I didn't go to try it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and people need to give me the benefit of doubt. I'm not just a career politician. I'm an economist. So I know what I'm talking about.
I think you...
When I bandy around these figures, I bandy around these figures after thorough statistical analysis.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a gentleman called, Good Morning Kenya, very good morning. I'm Jeff from Kitale. Jeff is saying, kindly advise His Excellency, Eliud Owalo, to work with the people like Fred Matiang'i. He has good ideologies. He is fit to deputize Matiang'i.
Those are bridges that we are going to cross when we get there. It's too early to talk about who is going to be the candidate and who is going to be the candidate's running mate at this point in time. We will cross that bridge.
So you don't have a running mate right now?
It's too early. It's too early to talk about that.
Okay.
I'll address that early next year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Naitwa Mark Odia from Siaya County, Alego Usonga. Napenda sasa manifesto, napenda siasa manifesto ya Eliud Owalo. Anaweza geuza Kenya iwe kama Dubai kulingana na hizo agenda zake.
Ndio.
Kiswahili kubwa hiyo.
Ndio, tunataka mabadiliko ya ukweli. Yeah? Siasa ya kutumia wananchi ili watu waingie kwa serikali, halafu tukiingia kwa serikali tunasahau wananchi. Hiyo ndio siasa ambayo inatakikana tuwache na tuzike katika kaburi la sahau.
So you are so sure that tunaweza geuza Kenya kuwa kama Dubai?
Ndio. Kama Dubai, hapana Singapore.
Very good. What keeps you awake at night?
I think of what I need to do the following day. I mean, I'm always thinking of what I need to do the following day. Yeah. Yeah, I'm always thinking. I'm always planning. Yeah.
A question here. Do you miss Raila Odinga?
Oh, yes. I mean,
he's a former boss.
Give it to him. You know, all factors being held constant. I don't think we have had any impactful politician within our current political dispensation other than Raila Odinga. Yeah? I mean, this guy was part of the advent from single-party dictatorship to multi-party democracy. He was a facilitator, a key facilitator of our 2010 constitutional dispensation, the father of the evolution in Kenya. I mean, he's left a gap. I don't think there's any single politician in Kenya today who can fit in his shoes, myself inclusive. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you must give it to him.
More questions coming, Mheshimiwa. Good morning. I'm not a Guko. There's a colleague called a Guko Ram. My name is Victor.
Yeah.
Good morning, Victor. Say hi to Waziri Owalo. We are behind him. He's such a great resource. I'll pass by the office to say hi. David Oyola.
Sure.
David Oyola?
I look forward to seeing David.
Ingia kwa ofisi, say hi.
He's a friend of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another one.
An enterprising young man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm Nancy from Eldoret.
Yeah.
I like Owalo's manifestation. Too much taxation closed so many businesses that has led Kenyan to be poorer than ever.
Yeah, I like the objectivity of Kenyans. When we need to confront issues, and I would wish that we have issue-based politics moving forward, so that we confront the challenges facing the common mwananchi indiscriminately, without taking note of our backgrounds, our religions. You know, let us face the challenges facing the common mwananchi. As Kenyans, we need to have that approach, and that's why personally I've decided that I want to work with people of like minds so that we can go back to factory settings and have a fresh start for Kenya. Yeah? That's why I will not be engaged in issues of one-term politics or two-term politics. Okay?
All right.
I want a fresh term for Kenya.
Fresh term.
Led by Eliud Owalo.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Fresh term.
Fresh term.
One last question here from gentleman. Good morning, Kenya. Mr. President-to-be, bring those manifestos kwa muungano na Sifuna tujenge Kenya. Otherwise, you are good to go. Tafuta mizizi, you understand the political ethics of Kenya. Ni Chief Moses.
We have to change our political fabric. We have to re-engineer our body politic. And that also involves Kenyans themselves, the voter. The voter must also change the mindset so that we start voting in people based on their track record, people, leaders of integrity, not based on power of the pocket. Today you see leaders carrying sacks of money and distributing it in the countryside, and they look great. I mean, we should be looking at these leaders, politicians in the eye and asking them, where have you gotten this money from? Yeah,
okay.
Because it is taxpayers' money they have stolen, and then now you are going ahead, you steal from me, and then you want to bring me back the money. I mean, I'll tell you no. Yeah.
Another question, I wonder how to trust Waziri. If he's not just a project, then let him justify why he had to quit his job. But in line, he's ambitious. But in line with his ambitions.
I mean, there is what is called responsibility, collective responsibility in government. I was not going to be part and parcel of the high echelons of government, yet criticizing it from within. That will be in discordance with the ethics in government. I had to step out and do my thing from outside. Yeah. And that is why I stepped out, so that I can start working on my presidential campaign and agenda. Today we have a party, the People's Prosperity Party, which is anchored on ideological orientation of distributist social democracy. Distributing wealth, getting wealth from the high and mighty, who have been milking the sweat of Kenyans since independence, and taking it to the masses. That's why I want really to appeal to Kenyans to join me in this third liberation agenda. Our first liberation was independence. The second liberation was multi-party democracy. The one and only remaining liberation today, the third liberation, is economic. And that is the liberation movement I want to lead moving forward, courtesy of the People's Prosperity Party.
Okay.
And I'm appealing to all Kenyans to join us in the People's Prosperity Party as members of the party, so that we can walk this journey together.
All right.
Dial star 509
star
509 hash, and then proceed to choose PPP, the People's Prosperity Party, and register as a member so that we work together.
Mheshimiwa, we are out of time, but just allow me to, that question came from Evans from Kisii. Another question, this is just a comment.
Yes.
Good morning, Kenya. I'm Wilkista Makoha, Anyaki Makoha.
Yeah.
This guy is good. I like Eliud Owalo's ideologies. Advise him to work closely with Mr. Fix-It, you know? All right?
Who is Mr. Fix-It?
His Excellency, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. He can work well under him. In fact, he can be the best advisor to the Excellency, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. That is according to him. Will Kista talking to her. And finally, good morning, Kenya. Pass my warmest regards to Mr. Owalo. Mr. Owalo is an issue-based politician who is looking for long-term solution to our country's fiscal challenges. We should make President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso our best friend. Have a blessed day. Lastly, this is a long one. I don't know whether I can read this one. Hello. I'm Honorable Ian Koros from Belgut. The ideas with Honorable Owalo is great. Which party is he standing? PPP.
PPP.
PPP. He's answered that.
Yeah.
And finally, Haimesh, if ODM is dead, convert its members to PPP and we work the journey together. Lily. Mheshimiwa, thank you so much.
I could put it in any better way.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
We have to wrap it up there. There are so many questions coming now, and many people are watching. 30 seconds. You're a good man. To the camera. 30 seconds.
Let us work together as Kenyans within the Third Liberation Movement so that we can address the challenges facing the common mwananchi. As Eliud Owalo, I've stepped forward to pursue the presidency of the Republic of Kenya as an agent of real change for the good of our country. Please give me the necessary support and I will not let you down. I'm a different creed of a politician. I'm a technocrat politician, and I can assure you that I will ensure prudence in utilization of Kenyan resources for the good of the Kenyan people.
Very good.
Yeah.
Mheshimiwa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Asante sana. That is my former boss, by the way. And Mheshimiwa, just hold there a little bit.
Yes.
He's my former boss. Thank you so much for watching.
Oh, yes.
And we wish you all the best. He said that dial *509# and proceed thereafter. You'll join
Choose
the party and
PPP.
choose PPP. Thank you so much for joining us. And all the questions, I wish I had all the time. I will sample some of them later on in the program.
Yes.
But we wish you all the best.
Thank
My
you
name is
very
Tito.
much.
GMK continues after this. Stay with us.
It was my pleasure.
Asante.
Good.